Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason Gibson. I'm the Sage Evolution Pre-Sales Advisor here at About IT, and welcome to this Introduction to Sage Evolution 200 video. The agenda for today's video will be as follows. We'll look at the background of Sage 200, visual differences between Sage Evolution and Sage Evolution 200. We'll be briefly discussing the naming convention. I'll explain that to you, as well as the new pricing structure and core modules included in the new core for Sage 200. I will also recap on features added to Sage Evolution 200 post Sage Evolution 7.20. If you look at the screen in front of you, for the existing Sage Evolution customers, this might be a familiar screen. As you can see, this is the screen for Sage 7.20. Moving on to the next screen, you'll see this is the main screen for Sage Evolution 200. You will notice a more modern look and feel with a user-friendly approach for tasks and process workflows. Moving on to the next screen, you'll see this is a sales order processing screen for Sage Evolution 200. This has not changed, and you will see in the next screen, the Sage Evolution 7.20 sales order screen looks very much the same, besides a theme difference. Some exciting news in the Sage 200 space is that Sage has recently announced a subscription-based price list based on a 1-year contract or a 3-year contract. Sage Evolution 200 core modules. If you look at the screen in front of you, you will notice these are all the core modules included in the Sage 200 package. What this means is when you purchase Sage Evolution, these are the modules that you get without any additional cost. When you look at the modules on the right that are highlighted in blue, these are the modules that were previously added as additional modules that you would need to pay for additionally. If you look at the Bank Manager module, what this module does is it allows you to import bank statements via an OFX file or a CSV format. This module allows you to semi-automate your bank reconciliation process by allowing you to map frequently made payments to specific general ledger accounts, which will then, with a specific reference, clear on your bank recon. The annuity billing module allows you to set up recurring invoices that go out to your clients on a monthly basis. The CRM standard module allows you to create workflow in the company, and you're allowed to create incidents on inventory items, fixed assets, as well as clients. This module is a customer-centric module that allows you to keep track of all the interaction between your employees as well as your customers. This module integrates into the Outlook application, and interaction between clients and employees can be automatically uploaded to an incident. You can also have incident escalations. If an incident has been raised in the system and it hasn't been dealt with in a specific time frame, the relevant escalation party will receive a notification. The final module that you get that's included as part of the core is the pricing matrix module. This is basically a module that helps you to create flexible pricing structures for clients based on a tiered approach. New features to Sage 200 Evolution. Interface enhancements was the new look and feel that I've previously explained. You're now able to schedule backups within the application. There's inventory enhancements for multiple bin locations, inventory enhancements for attributes, barcoding, and pricing, as well as GL account posting enhancements. When you look at the screen in front of you, you will notice the new modern look and feel that has been applied to Sage 200 Evolution. In any screen, you will have two sections. You'll have a related tasks section as well as a process flow section. The related tasks section are the tasks that your employees will use on the system from a day-to-day basis, and the process flow shows the flow of documentation such as purchase orders, placing of orders, payments, and processing of GRVs and supply invoices. This new feature is to enable a user to schedule a backup from within the application. What this means is the person that has got access rights to do a backup from within the application can do it from that person's workstation. They no longer have to log into the server and go through the long process of doing a fairly technical backup within SQL. Looking at the first inventory enhancement, this is a major enhancement on the inventory side for Sage Evolution 200, and this allows multiple bin locations per warehouse and subsequently multiple bin locations per inventory item. Continuing with the multiple bin locations per inventory item, you can see that the tab multiple bins now has a minimum and maximum level for a specific bin. And you can also set a default sales bin as well as a default purchase order bin. Looking at the bin location selection screen, on each transaction screen, you're allowed to where you enter the bin location, you can select from which bin you want to select the inventory items from the bin location selection screen. The last feature on the multiple bins per warehouse, you now have the ability to transfer items from one bin location to another bin location with full traceability within the system, as well as adding a description and a reference as to why this inventory item was moved from one bin location to another. Another major enhancement in the inventory side is the addition of the attributes. If you look at the screen in front of you, you'll notice there's an attribute called clothes. This is just an example for the retail environment. If you look at the bottom left, you can see you've got an attribute type, which will be style, color, or size. Each attribute type is linked to an entry type, such as fixed or variable. As you can see, the size will obviously be variable because you might have a size 9, a 10, or an 11. The next example on this is an attribute group for a cell phone. You'll see that you've got different makes and models, and then again, an entry type for fixed or variable. When you look at the attribute matrix, this is specific for the group code. You can see that the entry type here is a variable entry type that I spoke about. You've got sizes such as 10, 12, and 14. And then you can see quantity on hand for each of these. As you can see, this is a retail environment centric improvement, and you'll have much better reporting capabilities on your inventory. So previously, if you wanted a size 10 inventory item code or a size 12 inventory item code, you would have to create 2 different item codes. Now you create one item code with its variable attributes. You'll have a simplified inventory list with better reporting and obviously better invoicing capabilities as well. If you look at the next, this is part of the retail centric features in the inventory module. You now have multiple barcodes specified for an inventory item. What this is, if you go back to the colors of the specific shirts or that we spoke about, you'll have a barcode for a green shirt, you'll have a barcode for a red shirt, and each barcode will save that relevant attribute information to the inventory item. You have barcodes per unit of measure as well. If you purchase something in a box that's got 24 items in, the actual box, which is a unit of measure called box, will have its own barcode, whereas the individual inventory items, which is a unit of measure of each, will have its own barcode. Looking at price per unit of measure is an additional feature as well. And as a practical example on this is if you're selling a box of chocolates that have got 24 chocolates in, you might sell it at a cost of 5 Rand per chocolate. If you're selling it in single items, you might sell it at 8 or 10 Rand a item. So this just allows you to put a selling price per unit of measure, which is a feature we never had in Evolution before. Looking at the batch screen we have in front of you, Evolution always allowed you to run a batch to update your price lists. Now they have extended this feature by allowing you to schedule a update for the price lists. The reason for this is 2 that I can mention. One is for planning. You might know when you need to update your prices a week or 2 or maybe a month in advance. You can go in, get the work done, update your prices on the batch, and schedule it for maybe the beginning of the next month. The other reason you might need to schedule it is your line managers might not be there on a Saturday where you want to update the prices for the weekend, for specials and so forth, and then you can schedule it so that the system can automatically update these prices first thing on a Saturday morning to get the prices updated to start your trading for that day. Sage 200 Evolution, General Ledger. If you look at the screen in front of you, you'll see a list of General Ledger accounts on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, you'll see a column for Allow Journals. This is a new restrictive feature on Sage Evolution 200 that you can restrict agents on the system to not pass journals to specific General Ledger accounts. This feature was not available on any of the previous versions, and you would have to go and restrict users to not post via a batch. And now you can restrict them, all of the users, on the actual General Ledger account. If you have any further questions on the new Sage Evolution 200, drop a comment in the comment box below. Thank you very much.